I've been binging Stranger Things season 4. I admit that I'm a big fan of the show. I think it's really well made. It doesn't mean that I'm unaware of the flaws of it, and it doesn't mean that I'm unaware of the fact that I don't know. There are certain things about it that from a what should we say, from the perspective or the point of view of someone who wishes to expose the truth of various dark and sinister events that have happened over the course of recent history due to secret programs of our government. That Stranger Things might be playing the role of kind of I don't know, a mediator, or just something that mediates all of that, all of the outrages, all of the terrible things that have been done to people, all the lives that have been ruined with these special programs. It seems that Stranger Things kind of uses these programs, these events, such as the MK Ultra projects and related project, using children, abusing children for their own purposes, for to get super soldiers or remote viewers or that sort of thing. I'm well aware of all of that. Things like the Montauk project, which you can't really talk about without being fact checked by somebody who's pretending to be telling the truth, but is really just serving the interests of the power structure. I'm aware that Stranger Things isn't really necessarily on our side, on the side of revealing the truth as far as that goes, even though ironically it is telling the truth about these things. I think it is, but I think it is doing it in a way that is meant to ultimately smooth things over. So it might be a bit of a psyop ultimately. But it is very entertaining, very well done, very well acted, and every season when it's come on, I've been riveted, and I've wanted to see more. I'm not usually a binge watching type person, but the kids are all such great actors, and I think I've expressed this before. It makes me a little bit nervous, because I know what the entertainment industry is, and how children are typically treated in the entertainment industry. This is a show nearly all of whose leads are kids. They're getting older now, but they're still kids, and I just that's an aspect of the show that I think is it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. But what I've noticed, both in this latest season, which is the first to come out since 2019, this was supposed to come out in 2020, but of course it didn't, because of all the nonsense. It got pushed back, it got delayed. Eventually, finally got released now, right as the summer season has emerged. They've released most of the episodes on Memorial Day weekend, with a few more, I think, some concluding episodes to come in maybe a week or so. And something I've noticed both for this season and for last season is the really interesting emergence of Russia. Now, the show, of course, is set in the 1980s. Part of what makes it so much fun is that it's very it trades in nostalgia, but it does so, which we can say that's kind of a cheap way of getting people to watch. Just showing them old clothes or old style houses, or architecture, what malls looked like then, what storefronts looked like then. and you're right in a way that is, it is a cheap way of grabbing viewership, because everybody's into the 80s now, including people who didn't even live in the 80s, and so going for the 80s nostalgia thing, is it's like I said, it's cheap, but it's not cheaply done. It's cheap in a way, but it's done very well. And part of what was happening in the 80s was the Cold War. And there are references, if you are a cinephile, you'll see references to movies like Rambo in a couple of the scenes that are shot in Soviet Russia in a work camp that Hopper, who we thought had died in the last season, but who we found out actually in an epilogue was still alive. He gets sent there to Russia, and there's all this portrayal of the Soviet Union and the horrors of the Soviet Union, the repression, the tyranny that took place in the Soviet Union. And I'm just finding it kind of curious and kind of interesting that would coincide with the increased Russophobia in the West right now, in light of the events of Ukraine and the warmongering that's taking place in various circles, both on the conventional right and conventional left, both among Democrats and Republicans, who feel that it's our role to get involved in this conflict, this territorial conflict between Ukraine and Russia and the Eastern Territories, and all the complications that go along with this entire subject. They just want to distill it down to no, there are clear good guys and clear bad guys, and the bad guys, as always, are the Russians, right? And it just strikes me as curious that over the past 2 seasons of Stranger Things, there's been this ramped up anti-Russian strain that's happened. In season 3, which is in 2019, that predates the war that's taking place now in Ukraine, but it doesn't predate increased tensions between the United States and Russia, and it doesn't predate what had happened in Ukraine in 2014, all the years leading up to with the Maidan uprising and the color revolutions, and the fact that you had people like Soros and his pals avidly involved in that event. And so I have a hard time seeing that there is just that this ramped up anti-Russian, Russians as evil, Russians as the enemy. I have a hard time seeing that in isolation from what's going on in the world. And so if it's true that, two things can be true at the same time. Stranger Things can be a really well-made show, and I believe it is. It can be art, and I believe that it is. And it can also be a psyop at the same time. I remember talking about the movie Ad Astra with Brad Pitt, which I really enjoyed, which was like sort of like an Apocalypse Now in space. Except the way that it ended, the last 15 minutes were like, what? Why are they pushing this message here? We're all alone in the universe. There's no alien life anywhere. We are all that there is. Why was that suddenly the thing that they were pushing at the end of that movie? I don't know, but it seemed like something that was intruding into into the movie itself. That there was some agenda that was intruding at that point. And I think in Stranger Things we see with the Russia stuff, with the Russians as the bad guys, even if they may not be the central bad guys this time around, or as actively bad guys as they were before in season 3 when they came to Hawkins, Indiana, and which is actually Atlanta, by the way. That's where most of the show is filmed, and built their secret base under the new mall. Now that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. The Russians don't seem to be intimately involved anymore with trying to orchestrate some apocalyptic event, but we still see them as as these tyrannical figures, as these slave driver type of characters, these incredibly cruel, torturous, these military types who are torturing our beloved Hopper. Now, am I saying the Soviet Union was not tyrannical and cruel and didn't wind up with a lot of people being killed and being treated unjustly in various ways? No, of course not. Of course I wouldn't say that. But it's strange now, this anti-Soviet stuff coming back. It's not strange. It makes sense. It falls in line, and it's a reminder that the entertainment industry is in lockstep, essentially, with the military-industrial complex. And I think you can watch Stranger Things and enjoy it while still being aware of this fact. So that's my opinion, my take on it all. What do y'all think? Let me know. Thanks for watching.